Okay, welcome to Immerse October Madness Day 2. We are going to gather today, learn about the power of our stories against the stories that we tell ourselves, the value that we add, and the simplicity of our business if we can let this one thing sink in. We've got some incredible shares today. We are going to get into that in just a moment. We've also got a training section. So every day, you'll get some inspiration, some mindset, and some skill sets. But these skill sets will be from people that have really walked a mile in your shoes, most probably, and are going to help you with the not so obvious parts of the skill set, which is why I love team coaching and these trainings, because we can pull that team IQ together on a daily basis. So we're just going to go ahead and get started. A couple things I wanted to ask everybody to fire up the chat, wake you guys up, get your wheels turning is, do you desire to be a part of a culture where we can, in emotional safety, question the stories that we tell ourselves? So yes or no. And it's okay if it's a no, because guess what? A lot of us start here with a big old no to that. And it's like, no, I have a wall and I don't really want to be in an environment where the story that I tell myself could be challenged in a loving way. Is that something you desire? That's a growth mindset to say, I was listening to a podcast the other day and it said, she said, when a mentor gives you tough feedback, but right, that they've been through it with you, the only plausible response would be, thank you, right? And that takes time. That takes time to develop. A lot of us have muck and mire. Maybe, we grew up in really critical environments and we just have a hard time with feedback. And that's okay. That's the idea here, is that we can create a culture where there's emotional safety and hey, this person is for me. These people in these Zooms, they're not just, people in screens. And that's what we're going to break down today. Many of you are going to hear stories from people on our team and you might think, well, how is hearing their story going to help me with my business? Okay, it will. Two things. You're going to need to practice active listening in your career, in your trade, and on this mission. And active listening, which we're going to hear so much more about on Friday. We're actually going to have a listening specialist come in and teach us how to listen well so that we can be more effective in client acquisition and client support, because human beings have a very special trait where we only like to listen if it's going to benefit us, right? Or we quickly make it about us. So today, practice your active listening. These stories have great power because you'll be able to say, oh my gosh, I'm talking to a client and he's a huge influencer and he's got this whole identity out there on social media. How could he take on Optavia? And then you'll hear from John Paler. Or you'll go, wow, I don't know, like this mama, she's really busy. She's saying she doesn't have time to coach. She's saying she doesn't have time to do practice calls. She's saying, and then you'll hear from Crystal Ayala. So we have to challenge the stories that we tell ourselves with factual information. And that's why we're going to do that today. Plus, some of the stories on this team are going to fire you up and give you the bold client support that you're desperately seeking in your interactions. So there's many, many reasons that we're going to do that. A story in and of itself creates rapport and trust. It drops walls and it creates relatability. Okay, so that's what we're doing on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we are going to have some of the best trainers in this business come and tell you how they did it and how you can do it too. And some of these people, guys, it's incredible. Like if we were to think about just how blessed are we, some of them that are going to speak to us, spending a half an hour here is $1,025 for them to spend a half an hour with you, because when they're working their business, they're making $1,000 an hour and then some. But they're going to come and tell you how, in the most loving way I can say this, how to get out of your own way. So like, it's going to be fire this week. So I'm excited. Let's get started. Let's start with gratitude. As always, it's early. The human grumblings are within us, right? We're frail, we're human, but let's start with gratitude. What is one thing this Tuesday that you're grateful for? Drop it in the chat. For me, I am extremely grateful that I have emotional safety in my closest relationships, that I have real relationships in my life, 2 o'clock in the morning friends that are for me and that I feel safe. And I know that that is rare, and that list of people, thank you, Optavia, is growing for me. Like, that's a growing list of people. If I had not done this, I would have not met those people. And it's beautiful. So I am super duper grateful for that. What are you guys grateful for? I love it. Grateful for your family, the community, your friends, your tribe. I love it. So good. Yes. So let's just go ahead and get started. I am going to introduce our first story and share. And let me just make sure I see, there she is, Crystal Ayala. We're going to have you go first. And then we'll, just to give everyone else an idea, we'll go ahead and go to John Paler, and then the Williams will bring us home. Okay.
Okay. Hi, good morning. Are you able to hear me, Rachel? Okay. I wasn't expecting to go first, so, but I'm ready. Good morning, everyone. This is my first time sharing, so I'm a little nervous, so hang in there with me, but I'm excited to share with you guys. Rachel asked me, to come on and share my story. And I told her there's so much to my story. How do I do it in 5 minutes? But last week on one of our trainings on momentum, I was able to really break down my story and look into what I wanted to share with you guys today. Jamil had asked us to write down 5 words that explained us, that described us, who we were before Optavia. And that's where I'm going to go today to share my story. And so 5 words or descriptions that I wanted to share with you guys today of who I was before Optavia was, I was an exhausted mom. I was a short-tempered mom, wife. I was overwhelmed with my emotions and just with the job that I had outside of Optavia. And I was very complacent in life, kind of just living like, this is what I do. And another word or explanation that would explain who I was morbidly obese. I was morbidly obese. And I jumped on plan in June last summer, and along my journey, I started to notice more energy. I no longer was craving those midday naps, and I wasn't feeling exhausted from my days anymore. I was becoming more patient with my girls just by losing weight. But I started becoming more patient because I was in my life book and I was in Stop, Challenge, Choose, which before Optavia, I never had anything like that before. So I noticed I was becoming more patient with them, but also less aggressive with my husband. And we were having more enjoyable conversations because I allowed him to speak instead of cutting him off or wanting to have my say right away. And so that actually started to build a stronger marriage for us. And then also I started to lose, of course, an insane amount of weight I thought I would never, ever lose. And when I started to look in the mirror, I would cry, but I stopped crying tears of where I hated myself. I was sad when I looked in the mirror. And I wasn't sad anymore. I was crying tears of joy. I was falling in love with myself again and who I was becoming. And my journey hasn't been anywhere near perfect, but I chose to keep going. I chose to persevere through obstacles that I was dealing with in different seasons of my life. I was having to deal with unsupportive family members who just were looking at me and talking to me like, what are you doing? I became a homeschool mom. I've never done that ever. So here I am homeschooling a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old, working a part-time job, trying to balance work, life, home, personal life, coaching, figuring all out how am I going to do all of this. I could have thrown in the towel. I could have given up. But I knew that if I would have given up, I would have disappointed myself and my family. And I didn't want to do that because I had prayed and I had cried on my knees for 2 years for something to come my way that would help me to lose weight, help me to get healthy, to help support me in becoming the mom and the wife that I desired to be, and to be the Crystal that I wanted to show up as for my friends and my family. So here I am 15 months later, a client and a coach, and I've taken a lot away from our mentors and from you guys, the community, of learning just structure and learning how to balance everything and to put what's important first and to not let that be touched. And then also when I work my business and allow myself to be fully present for my coaches and my clients. It is a lot, but it's not a lot when we listen and we follow our mentors and let them help us, let them support us. So today I'm here, I'm healthier. I'm dreaming again with my girls, with my husband. You know, we have plans together and we have big goals, and we're thriving. And I couldn't imagine being where I'm at today, being here today without Optavia and without my amazing coach, my mentors, and without our community. And I'll forever be grateful. Thank you.
Wow. Ah, yeah, beautiful story. And I know so much about this lady because we partner so deeply with her, and we have really fallen in love with her and her husband and their 2 kids. And what a privilege to walk it out with you, Crystal. What a privilege for all of us. Thank you for blessing us this morning. Who's glad she went first? So awesome. Oh my goodness. One thing that you said that I think is so key and really, really important to remember is that our clients are amongst a lot of unsupportive family members. That is common. I have heard some things in the Zoom that just make my heart so sad for somebody that's trying to go from a caterpillar to a butterfly. And I have heard of spouses that have been extremely insecure, lots of things. And so why do I say that? Because that, if you could just take that and put it in here, when you talk about their need for community, you'll talk about it with just a little more passion and just a little more conviction, and you'll have just a little more urgency around these gatherings that we have on Mondays and Saturdays. Because guys, a lot of our clients are not getting it at home or in their environments at work. Okay, so let's hold on to that, because that really reminded me of why I have to contend for community for them and not listen to them when they say it's hard, but to ask them that one question. What's the one question I ask? I say, Crystal, I know you're busy, but if there was one way that we could get in community this week, what would it look like? And then I don't say another word because I need her to come up with the solution because it's her health journey. And she'll say, well, I have a commute. Maybe I could listen to it in the car on a playback. Beautiful. That's a solution in service to your why. That is going to move us forward. I love it. So you're going to listen to it on what day are you going to listen to it? I think I'll listen to it on Mondays and start my week off great. Awesome. Do you need some accountability with that? No, I think I got it. Will you tell me what you learned from it? Yeah, sure. Will you send me a text? Yes. Can I challenge you to voice text yourself right after the call what you learned so that we don't forget on your check-in? Yes. Now, the other thing is, because this is not a habit yet, will you set an alarm? Because you're going to need a cue. That's what Dr. A says, right? That's coaching. That's bringing the client forward and not allowing them to stay in that poopy diaper. These stories remind us of what we do. With that, let's head out to John Paler, and he's going to, again, just share where he's coming from and what he's learning, and then we'll go to the Williams.
Morning, guys. Can you hear me? We're good? Awesome. Yeah, so I was struggling really with what to share, and just wanted to let you guys know where I was coming from. So the last 13 years, I've had a pretty successful custom guitar business, and I've had a lot of major artists playing my guitars and all that. Worked really hard to build that business up. Well, in 2017, I went in to have blood taken, and the lady went into my arm, went through my vein and into my radial nerve, and completely wrecked my whole radial nerve in my right arm, and I lost a lot of motor skills in my arm. And I wasn't able to perform in the business at the peak that I was at, which was pretty high level for what I was doing. Long story short, I fell into a pretty big depression during that time, from 2017 really until December last year, because I just couldn't perform how I was performing in my business any longer. But I guess that kind of led me into searching. I was unhappy. I mean, overweight, all that stuff, so much mental baggage I really didn't realize I had back then. And that led me into seeking, trying to figure out how to lose my weight and all that. Well, long story short, found Optavia in, I guess, February. And just by embracing everything and listening to Rachel and Tim and all of you guys, it's really helped me in reading the books, it's really helped me to clear out a lot of that depression that I had during that time because of my injury. So for me, I mean, I've lost 64 pounds since then. But for me, just to be able to learn how to manage all the mental baggage I've had through that, I mean, honestly, 3-year depression, how to manage a lot of that for myself, a lot of those thoughts has been just huge for me, and everything. And another reason I wanted to coach was just to be more talkative, have more public interaction, be better in public, and all that. And that's really helping me to kind of break some of that and be able to talk and speak a little bit better to people and everything. So that's kind of short and simple, but that's kind of where I was at, kind of how Optavia has helped me break through some of that 3-year depression. And man, just so grateful, super grateful.
Wow, thank you so much, John. I love that. And yeah, we're going to cross a lot of people. What I love about it is if you look at this guy's page, right, you could conclude there was nothing going on, right? It's fine. He's great. He's doing great. He's successful, and you were, right? And he is very much so, a very talented human being. But how many people in our midst are quietly suffering with stuff? And we're like, they're good. Like, look at their Facebook. It's their highlight reel. Like, of course it is. But that's why we start conversations with people. Because listen, if they're hovering over your stuff and hitting that like button continually and following you, no matter how much you think they have everything dialed, there's probably a need. And we need to lean into that and make the first move, because sometimes it's scary for them, to make the first move. Thank you for sharing that. That was amazing. One thing you guys should know is change your avatar in the back office because I think John, when he was, he was a lead from Optavia, you guys. You know how they mostly don't work out? Well, sometimes they really work out and you get a new friend. And I love coaching his wife, Katie, and they're just such sweet souls. And I couldn't, when we say coachable, open, and curious, it's like we go to the dictionary and there's John's picture right there. Like it's been a true joy to guide you. But when you think about the avatar, he was flipping through those, right, John? Kind of like, who do I want for my coach? And I think that he landed on us last and thought, oh, they're in California, I don't know. And then it was like, nope, that's your coach. And so anyway, don't have an avatar, because if someone's looking, they want to see your picture. Okay. That's really important. I learned that lesson through his story. All right, Williams, bless us with your story. If you guys, I think you're in 2 different locations, so I don't know who's going first.
I'm going first.
Okay.
Hi, guys. I'm Adrienne Williams. I'm here in California. Anthony's in Mississippi. We're kind of living that 2-state life. But just to give you a little of our story, we just celebrated our 35th year anniversary on September 27th. Lots of years, lots of highs and lows, but we've hung in there together. Prior to Optavia, a little bit more about us. We were foster parents for 27 years, had hundreds of children come through our home. And it was a busy time. We always had at least seven kids in our home. And now we're in a new season. He's there in Mississippi in our home there by himself. I'm here in our home in California by ourselves. And when you go into new seasons, I started to look at, how do I want to go into a retirement season? I'm 58 years old and I'm starting to think about that. How do I want to live these golden years? And I was looking at some people that were older than me and looking at their lives. And one of the things that I had prayed for at the beginning of this year, I'd asked the Lord, I said, Lord, I want to have friends. I want to expand my circle. I want to connect more with people. And along comes Optavia in June of this year. I didn't think of it as a way to connect with people because I wasn't thinking about anything except losing weight. I was overweight. I had all the things everyone else is talking about. I'm tired, I'm moving this weight around. It was one picture I took that it was like, oh my gosh, I can't even hide it anymore. It's not putting people in front of me and just showing my face. I couldn't hide it anymore. It was in my face and in everybody else's face. I needed to lose weight. I got on the program. Of course, you eat the fuels, the weight's gonna come off, but it is so much more than that. So many things that I've gained here. I'm a people person. I love people. Starting conversations is not hard for me, but anyone that has a gift has to work on that, has to hone their craft. And what I found coming into Optavia and coming into coaching, the structure that's here, the trainings that we're given, we're allowed that opportunity to take whatever our gifting is and hone in on it. And then also, one of the other things I'm really enjoying is that I'm being stretched. I'm being, go do this, try this, and I'm doing it scared. It's not my thing, it's not what I want to do, but I'm doing it scared. And it's stretching me and growing me. So back to how do I want to age? I want to age with having friends. I want to age with things to do, a business to grow. I want to be involved in my community. And Optavia has given me all of those things, given me new friends, opportunities to grow personally and as a business leader. And I'm just I've been excited about it and just want to keep doing that. So thank you all.
Well, okay. Wow. This has been somewhat of a roller coaster. We started in June, and it's just, everything has just taken off, and we're just amazed at it. Okay. Now, I got in this business purely because I was broken. My health was, listen, I suffered a stroke December 7th, 2020. Okay. Now, a lot of people are afraid to admit, but I never was, that I had a stroke because of me, my fault, nobody else's, my fault, not taking care of my body. My doctor told me in 2012, 8+ years ago, told me that I had hypertension. And I said, well, I'm going to eat better, and I'm going to exercise. And you know what? That lasted for a New York minute. I went right back into my old habits, eating what I want to eat, the way I want. Listen, all right, I'm a country boy at heart, okay? So when I say soul food, something that most of you probably don't know about, but I'm talking about, I'm eating greens with smoked neck bones and pigtails in them. Are you hearing me? I mean, we eat, when you talk about the pig, we ate it from the nose to the other end. Every day we ate it all. All right. That was it. That was part of our diet. And hey, be honest, I still like it, but I don't eat it. Now, I just wrecked my health and didn't listen to the doctor. And 8 years went by, 8 years where I was active and doing everything I wanted to do. And that hypertension was lurking in the dark, and I paid it no attention. December the 7th, here in Mississippi, it hit me. When it hit me, it awakened me. I was thankful to God that I wasn't debilitated by it. But it drove me to want to do something about my health, and I didn't know what, I didn't know how. Thank God for Patrick and Sherry Naughty. These people were posting. We had been watching them for about a year. Oh, that's great. Honestly, we watched them, and my wife and I both would say, oh, they're really doing nice. That's a good thing for them. Wasn't thinking about for us. I said, that's good for them. But man, in June, for some reason, I saw another friend of mine, and it was like, what? This guy looking like that? I'm former military. He's retired military. And when I saw him, I said, this guy looked like he just got out of boot camp. And he was as big as I was, okay, overweight as I was, in 5 months. And I said, I got to talk to him. I talked to him. He said, you need to talk to my health coach. Health coach? Who is it? Well, it's Patrick and Sherry Naughty. I've known them for 20 years. I was like, okay, I called them up. Man, it changed everything. I didn't wait till they told me who it was, who the company was. I didn't even wait till they finished. I put out my credit card right there on the spot. I said, come on, guys, let's do this. My why. I'm going to conclude with this. I don't want to go too long. I hope I haven't went over. My why was my health. My why is still being healthy. My why drives me. And I have learned this, that if you can dig down into a person's why, and if you can bring that out of them, that their why becomes larger than that fork going to their mouth. Their why can become larger than the convenience of a fast food restaurant. Their why become larger than settling for nothing. They'll jump on board. My why continues to drive me. Thank you.
Wow, we could just be done right here, right? But whoa, I love it, guys. That's insane. I'm so fired up, and I love it. You're saying when someone's why is bigger than their fork, you're on the right track. You're saying post consistently and don't worry about being too much, because some people are going to watch you for a year, right? So, I mean, how beautiful is that? Let's continue down this path on this momentum. We've got Integrated Regional Director Amy Wood, and she is going to give us our training today on client acquisition as she sees it. So again, there is no absolutes in this business, but you try things on consistently, not once, and see if they fit. So my friend Amy, help us out.
Hey, good morning. Wow, I'm over here getting teary-eyed. I was like, man, I got to talk in like 10 minutes. Where's my tissues? It was crazy. So good. Thank you guys so much. Like Rachel mentioned, my name is Amy Wood. I've been coaching for about a year and a half now. I'm still constantly growing. I'm very excited to share with you guys today. My goodness, I just can't even get over it. Those testimonies were just amazing. You guys just heard from 3 incredible people who are growing, living out loud, telling their true, authentic story of change, how it happened, and they're just screaming it from the mountaintops. Like, that's so good. The one word I took out of everybody's shares was community. Okay, there is something very powerful about community. They all have a different background, different stories, but community, right? And sharing and growing, that really moves people forward. And I know that was a big one for me. Anyway, today is really about unpacking how to tell our real stories. So that was really good. We're going to learn how to structure a grand opening Facebook launch post. But before I get started on those things, where are my brand new coaches? Like, who's tuning in? Put a 1 in the chat if you've been coaching for, I don't know, maybe a few days or a few weeks, maybe only a few months. I'd love to see you. And I just want to welcome you and let you know that I see you. And congratulations on saying yes to the next part of your journey, your own personal development, and extra layer of accountability. And I'm so glad that you're here. Honestly, like, this is the best place for you to be this morning. If you were on yesterday or you've watched the playback, Julie said, when you say yes, fight for it. And that really stood out to me. And she did a really good job explaining how to bring that into your health assessments, right? No toe dipping, go both feet in. We know what's coming for you. Okay, it's incredible. And the fact that you're on here listening today is a win for you today. Okay, the majority of you, you've been here a while. I see you too. I've met so many of you personally. We've created a lot of pretty neat, friendships together. And I'm really grateful that you're still here and that you're still plugging along and you're not giving up. Quitting isn't an option for us, right? There's power in our story, and there's power in personal growth. And that is what is going to attract people to us. Everything I'm going to talk about today will be relevant, right, for everyone. So whether you're brand new or seasoned, maybe you've had some hiccups, maybe you are looking for more, that's what I'm going to do. So no matter where you are, it's all part of your story. And that's what we're all here learning together, right? Telling our real story. We're going to tell it often. We're going to invite others to join us so that we can protect their journey moving forward, and always keeping it simple, but like super real. Okay. And the truth is that everybody goes through hardship. We all have a piece of our story that's vulnerable, that maybe we hesitate to say out loud or even share, but that's part of it. When we can share that authentically with people, that's what makes us different. That's also what allows people to relate to us, right? We're not perfect. We don't already have everything figured out. We're on our journey to get better every day, one small step at a time. And we're just asking people to come with us as we do it. Being unplugged is my point. People want to know you. Sometimes when we've been here a while, okay, maybe we're not on fire anymore as a health coach. Well, why? Like, why not? I mean, do you feel maybe some of that Facebook fraud, like imposter syndrome, right? Do you feel like you don't have anything current to say? Are you having lapses, relapses? Are you having all or nothing thinking? I mean, I don't know about any of you, but I definitely used to have all or nothing thinking. It didn't serve me at all. But guess what? Dr. A says in order to create permanent change, that's part of it. We all have to go through those things. And most likely, we're just coming out of the systems that he created, okay? When we're not spending time in our life books every day, when maybe we've reached our goal weight and we're not still continuing to eat 6 times a day or making healthy choices. Maybe we're not stopping and really challenging ourselves and choosing when we're faced with making a decision. So that, paired with Monday night client calls, Monday night coach calls, listen to the trainings. If you're missing parts of these things collectively each week, you're definitely going to feel stuck. Okay. And I can say that because I have experience with it. So we're all going to have times when life happens. The last couple months for me have been like this. Okay. We want it to happen for us, not to us. Some things really are completely out of our control. I will say that because, okay, we're going to dive more into mindset stuff throughout this series. So just stay tuned on that. I'm not going to go completely into that right now. We'll share on that another time, but be completely open right now. Like, I've gained some weight back. I lost 65 pounds a year and a half ago, and I've gained about 15 of them back. Tragedy happened, birthdays happened, anniversary parties, all kinds of things, right? I was set back because I wasn't in the systems to handle it the way that I should have, okay? And I did feel like a bit of a fraud when I was helping people, and I shut down some. Let me tell you guys this. My friends and mentors, they rallied with me. They reminded me of the bigger picture and why I even started doing this in the first place. So in my opinion, that was kind of like the difference in completely failing at my life. And then having that people in community, there's that word again, that help pick you back up one small change at a time. So we are so blessed to have each other, you guys. Man, I'm really sharing all this with you because I think it's something that your people need to know. If you're going through something crazy, share it. If you're having best week of your life, share it. Okay. It's not if those times are going to come, it's when and how are we going to deal with it? So tell your story often, little pieces each week, update, right? Update your audience. They want to know you. People are watching. Share pictures. Here's a scary one, right? Do a go live. People want to hear your heart. Do it scared and do it anyway. You will get so many people that will respond to you because you're actually speaking to them and sharing your heart instead of just typing out some words and sharing a couple pictures. Those are all great things, but when you're actually talking live and people are like, oh, he's on or she's on, I want to hear what they have to say. Just do it anyway. Do it scared. Look, I have a little note here. Do it scared. Okay. I write this. I keep it on my desk. I used to be scared to do this. I was excited today. I woke up and I was like, woo, I get to hang out with my people today. So it does come. All right. When you live out loud, they're going to contact you when they're ready. All right. We're only looking for people who are looking for us. And the story you tell today will impact someone, whether it happens immediately or in a few weeks or in a month or 2 or 3, they're always watching. But the more you share, the more your audience will want what you're creating in your life. I've had people contact me 8-9 months later saying, all right, okay, obviously this is like a real thing. So what are you doing? Another little tip maybe is find somebody you admire, follow them, right? So in our organization or in Optavia, so Michelle Bamba, our very own Rachel Richards, maybe Tiffany Howard, maybe Doug Wood. Like there's so many people. So look at what they're creating, build momentum off of that. Don't give up and keep going. I'm going to get into like a little bit, just shift gears real quick about writing your launch post. If you've already done this, totally fine. Most of you probably already have, but you're going to need this information to teach it to new coaches who are going to join you, right? We see it, we do it, we teach it. So basically the information we want to include is, how are you feeling before you started your program? How are you feeling now, like currently? What are you experiencing? What do you see in the future, right? What are you excited for? And always, always, always end it with an invitation to join you. We want to make sure our stories aren't too long because we need people to read it. I don't know about you, but when I scroll and someone has this huge long post, I'm like, just, you're going to be able to tell your story often, right? Little snippets. So don't feel like you have to fit everything in, just those key items. People will read that and say, man, she was feeling pretty rough. Man, looks like she's experiencing some great health wins, right? She's even excited and looking forward to what's next. So I want that. That's when they raise their hand. Okay, they're going to say, hey, help me. So your highest priority for really getting things moving is creating your story, find a before and a current like photo of yourself, preferably in good light. Similar outfits, that's kind of tends to stick out to people. Put it in your business thread with your photos and let your mentor team help you get it ready. Accept the feedback. Let them just, tweak it around or whatever. So our business is simple. And I just want to leave you with this, okay? We tell our stories. We update our followers and our friends along the way. We boldly invite others to come with us. We support them on their journey, and we help protect their well-traveled path. Okay, keep it simple. That's what I have. Back to you, Rachel. I was trying to talk really fast.
You talked really well, and that was super inspiring for me. It was refreshing. I feel refreshed, and it makes me want to immerse myself into the process. I love it. Now, when we say we protect their path, that last thing, do you guys get the feeling here that the people that shared this morning, do you feel like they're protected? Would they be that protected if they don't guide others? That's the simple truth. That's either a yes or a no, right? We don't need to bargain with that and change that story. The people that shared today, every time someone buys their coaching kit, I kind of go like this, oh, another one, right? Another one, like the starfish, where you're like, it matters for this one, it matters for this one. And that's what we got to experience together today in the Zoom room. Your story is your brand. Your brand is how you make people feel. How did these people make you feel today? In one word, just put it in the chat and then we'll zip to the actions and we'll get out of here. One word about how those people that shared, all of them, Amy, the Williams, the John Paler, Crystal Ayala, how did they make you feel? They made you feel inspired. If we go to your page today, will we feel the same thing? Will we feel inspired? If I go next Tuesday, will I feel inspired? Will there be enough evidence on your Facebook page and in your Instagram, enough evidence, as Doug Wood said, to convict you of being able to help me if I am post-stroke trying to redeem my health? Will there be enough evidence on your page today to convict you of being able to help me in my health and well-being? That's the million-dollar question. And Amy said it, have fun with your stories, right? So powerful this morning. Okay, let's go ahead and get to our actions. Pretty simple, guys. We're trying to keep this so simple that we cannot fail. Okay, so a couple things. Actions for day 2, consistent actions would be the antidote to fear and what if. One of the scariest words in the English language for me is almost, right? I almost made it to my goal, right? We don't want that, but we want to live in that space of not yet and be growing. So have you done your go live on what you gave up for October and shared it with your followers and started conversations from that? Facebook has been up for like 12 hours now. So no excuses. They take 3 minutes to do. Pop it out. What did you give up? Why? Why is that important? What are you going to do with the time or with the sacrifice? Number one. Number two, elevate day two. Elevate day two in its entirety. Not just what's in the video, but what's above it. Okay. The little start 5 conversations, things like that. When you're done, drop day 2 in your business thread. Why? Because we want to micromanage you? Nope. Because we want to know if you need some help and we want to say you are awesome and we want to pace with you and we want to encourage you. Okay. So when it's done, just lovingly put it in there because some of us have lots of coaches and we don't know who's doing what. Okay. Read 5 minutes in your life book today, element 3. We've been talking about what do you want? Are you ready to create it? And then how are we going to create it? And this is going to be what we share on the book challenge on Saturday. So being that we're all clients, let's be clients today together. And then if your map isn't in, which I doubt anyone does not have this baby in, if they're on this series, because that would mean that you don't want to grow, right? And we know that's not true. So complete your maps with those dollars and dates on orders. If it's not already done, guys, if this isn't done, your mentors are flying blind and they will not be able to assist you as well as they could be. So screenshot this and then we're going to get out of here. Thank you to everybody that shared today. From the bottom of our heart, we see you, we appreciate you, and your story challenges our story and makes everything more relatable. And looking on these screens on Monday night calls, do you guys feel like you know Crystal better? Do you feel like you know John better? This is your family. This is a space that you can call on daily for encouragement and support. So thank you all, and we will see you tomorrow bright and early with some mindset and some training.